focused our attention on the consumers today in this case. Now we're looking at the quality of service rendered by these professionals, the challenges and opportunities faced by them, the rights of the designer and the consumer, the financial implications of the business, the gains and pains involved, and relationship with consumers of such products, in other words, clients. So obviously we're here to hear from them on the subject matter above, and as it is our practice on the program, we have guests, namely we have Umma Abubakar, the co-CEO of Stitches by Who? Yeah, Stitches by Who, right?
Yes, Stitches by Who.
All right, and then we also have Gabriel Hifan, a designer and tailor, Roscom Fashion and Design.
Yeah.
All right, so that's correct. Ifeoma Nadi.
Yes.
You're also a designer.
Yes.
Of iFees Trends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do we call you tailors, fashion designers, or just designers?
Well, we can be both.
Okay, you can be tailors and designers.
Designers, yes.
Okay, and what exactly is the difference?
Okay, fashion designers, they are like the mind, the creative mind. You think it, you have this vision.
Okay.
Then you make it a reality.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The vision behind any piece of clothing you're wearing.
Mm.
It doesn't matter if it's Ankara, if it's a denim, underwear, whatever. It was envisioned by somebody, and they made it into a reality. And to be a fashion designer, you don't necessarily have to sew. You can just, because you sketch, you mix patterns, and you make it a reality. And you give it to a tailor if you can't sew. And you give them instructions, and they work on it. But tailors, on the other hand, they are not creative. They rely on fashion designers to make what they make.
Maybe let's just say, because the tailors will not take it personal.
No, they shouldn't take it.
The way you put it is like they are not creative people.
I don't mean it like that.
Okay.
I don't mean it like that.
Okay, so
we need each other to exist. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We need each other to exist. As a fashion designer, you design, you sketch, but you may not necessarily know how to execute it.
Yeah.
But you need a tailor. And as a tailor, you sew. You have the expertise when it comes to sewing. But you don't have the creative mind. So it's either you replicate what a designer has done before, or you go through trends and you replicate.
So let's just say that the tailor might just be that person whose area of expertise has nothing to do with the creative aspect of it.
Yeah.
He does the execution.
Yeah, he does the execution. But if you're creative, then you're also a designer.
That's pretty much interesting. So what are the production stages in making clothing, and how do you decide which gender of consumers to concentrate on? Let's go to who now? Who? Gabriel?
Yeah.
How do you decide, and what are the processes you go through to achieve a particular design?
Well, we go a lot of ways to look for designs. Like for me, in my own area, I call myself normally as a fashion designer. I design, I sew, I'm very creative in what I do. Like I can look for Ankara and design whatsoever I want to do. Like I can look for English material.
The mic needs to be very close to your mouth. Yeah.
I can look for a native English material just as something I'm wearing here, and I will be very creative of it. I will bring out a very nice outfit. So I call myself normally as a fashion designer, as a tailor as well.
What about you, Ifeoma?
Still the same way. Like me, I do go on net, maybe like Pinterest, to pick out some styles, some design, and also some I create myself. And that's to.
And do you wear what you create?
Yes, I do.
You created what you're wearing.
Yes.
Amazing. Now let's talk about your customers. We're talking about people who enjoy services that these sets of creativity, attract them, because you have to be creative, you have to be good at sewing for somebody to want to pay for such services. What are some of the challenges that you have faced as designers, as investors in that aspect of business?
Well, we face a lot of challenges. To answer your question better, is it in terms of customers or in general?
No, in terms of your customers, because again, remember that the consumer becomes your client when money is involved.
Of course.
And that's why you allow him come to you.
Yeah.
So when he pays that money, there's an expectation.
Yes.
They come up with their ideas and they share with you. Sometimes it's absolutely their creativity. Sometimes, of course, they just tell you, this is what I want. I want the hand to be longer, the leg to be shorter, 3/4, 4/4, and all of that. Whatever the quarters are, they want something. They specify. They give you the specification. You use your creative prowess to bring it to fruition, and then the tailor finally executes it. Now, it gets to a point where there's a lack of communication for some reason, and I can tell you a lot of people believe that tailors especially are not to be trusted and they don't keep to time. So what challenges do you face in that regard?
Well, you need to be very honest with you, Peter. Very honest. I know saying this you may think, okay, I'm just saying it, but the key thing here is communication and not giving unrealistic targets, unrealistic deadlines to clients. So as stages by what we do, we don't give clients unrealistic times. We tell you your things would be ready at most 3 weeks. It could be ready before 3 weeks. It could be ready exactly 3 weeks. But we don't tell you, oh no, you can get it next week, because it may not be possible. So when it comes to challenges, yeah, we have some customers that you discuss with them, okay, what is it you don't like? That's a very key thing to ask a customer. What don't you like? Some people, they just tell you, oh, I want this, I want this. But when you don't ask them what they don't like, you may fall into a lot of trouble. Because some people don't like cold shoulders. They don't like exposing skin. They don't like low backs. You understand? But and they can come and tell you, like me, I prefer working when you tell me, okay, just do what you just do. Just create a style for me. No problem. Most of our clients trust us to create something for them. They don't necessarily come with things they want us to do. They just trust our judgment. Okay, just do this. But when we know what you don't like, we make sure we don't go to what you won't even tolerate.
So what could be the reason why, Gabriel, why do you think many people believe that tailors do not keep up to date, apart from communication? Because, I mean, Salah is by the corner, for instance, and then the kids are all over the place telling their friends, you need to see what my dad or mom is going to sew for me. And the tailor promises the parents, just when it is 5 minutes to Salah, we don't see anything. And then the tailor shop is locked. Has that happened to you before? Have you failed anyone before?
Yeah, as a designer, I don't.
Why? And what happened?
Yeah, at times we do it because, you know, in this field you face a lot of customers. There's many people that brought works to you. But definitely you must not satisfy human beings. You can satisfy, and at times you will not satisfy. But it is for me, at times when I go with this work, if you give me work, if you give me a dress to make for you, there are some people who brought like thousands of clothes, maybe not 1, 2, 3, and they will be forcing you to like, okay, I need these designs like in 2 weeks time. And you as a person making the clothes, you'll be telling them that, okay, I have a lot of people at hand to settle. Please, let me just do this at least. As you bring 4, let me give you like 2, or let me give you like 3. They will still be insisting that they must collect all. And by that time, you will be thinking of, if you say no, maybe you will lose your customer. And you will have to accept to collect it, and they will give you the deed. Or that you will make it with them to make up to 3, and you will leave 1. And that's when they come, they will be upset with you. That you told me that my dresses will be ready by this day, but when I come, I didn't see something like that. So, but we try as much as possible to say.
Okay, it's very funny because I have had my own share with the tailors and designers, if you would say. This is to say that on like 2 different, I have a lot of encounters, but let me just bring just 2 and then you get to talk about them. The first scenario was that, or what I noticed with designers and tailors, you never say no. Yes, you hardly say no.
I disagree.
Okay, in the sense that when people bring in clothes, I don't know, maybe it's because when a customer comes to you, maybe it is because of the money that is involved or something, but they hardly say no. And then they say, okay, don't worry, we'll do something about it. I have had an instance whereby after I took my material to the tailor, he was like, okay, don't worry, give me this time. I said, okay, is it going to be ready? If it's not going to be ready, I can excise this year. He said, no, but it's just like you're going to pay double because, you know, we're rushing towards the time. I said, no problem. After paying the first amount, I came back and it's not ready. In fact, the way I came, the way I brought it, that's how it was staying. So, and then the second incident is that I took a material to a designer, and she traveled and left her apprentice or people that work for her, and by the end of the day, I came and saw another material with another different design, and he told me that was my wrapper. Yes. So I don't know, how is this happening?
We'll get to know about that after the break. We'll take a very quick break on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. This is Prosumer Forum, and the studio is loaded up with designers. Get some designs afterwards. Stay with us. We'll be back.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
This is your magazine radio station. Listen.
It's only today that my daughter gets just to eat food. Past 2 months now, you be in your shop selling before you know your child will disappear.
Listen.
My own. That is what is killing us. They demolish everything. They burn all our things. Even my credentials, even my children own. Up to the end, no clothes, nothing.
Government cannot give us everything we want. And as a youth, the little you have, you can use it to establish yourself.
Given a voice to the voiceless. 101.1 FM. Listen.
Shirye-shirye awa 24 a kullum. Human Rights Radio mita 101.1 irinsa na farko a faɗin duniya. Yana nan a lamba 1184 jikin Games Village a garin Abuja. Wanda mamallaka Birkete Family suka samu ƙarƙashin jagorancin Ordinary President Ahmad Isa.
Your right, my right, our right. Everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio. Human Rights Radio.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
Welcome back to Prosumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. It is exactly 27 minutes past 3 o'clock, and we're talking designers and the attitudes of some of them to their customers and consumers, because designers are service providers. The customers are consumers of those services. There is always a specification. Jennifer's story is always, I don't know where she gets her own experiences. Yesterday, when we were talking about the landlord and all of that, she talked about her landlady that we ended up calling the landmother, the landlady that gives her biscuits and everything. Now, she was a victim, and she told us again the story just before the break about a tailor who couldn't even locate the first material she gave to him. Was it a him or a her?
It's a her.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yes.
So, what happened?
Okay, so
The mic needs to be closer again.
I took, okay, the first scenario, like I said, is when I took a material to someone, to a fashion designer. Let me put it out, because she came up with the design for that material. Just for me to come back and they gave me something entirely different, right? They didn't give me, it was not my material, and the style was not mine because the hand fittings couldn't size me. Right, that's the first one. And then the second one, I gave him money, and he said, "Okay, you know what? I have work to do, but trust me, because you came in and this is an emergency. I'm going to make sure that I finish this between so time. Come and get it." I even had to pay express. You know, there's an express charge, right? So I had to pay express because of that. When I came, the way I brought the material, that was how he was looking at me.
What did you do?
I was so frustrated. Sometimes I don't know how to start voicing out. The next thing, it was just silent tears, because, you know, it was deep inside. And, you know, we had to start arguing. And the first one, they gave me a refund though, but not the complete refund.
Wow.
Yes, and trust me, I never went back. And anyone that is going there, I'm going to definitely discourage the person.
Feedback.
Yes. So, why do you, in your profession, do that?
Why do they do that? Well, not what people forgot. Most designers or tailors forget is you're building a brand. You need to have a good reputation. Your integrity matters a lot, and trust me, you can never, like you said earlier on, that you don't want to lose customers. You collect.
Gabriel.
Gabriel, you can never lose customers by being honest with them. It can never work. You won't lose customers, because it's better you say, "Oh, sorry, I can't accept this your fabrics because I won't meet your deadline. So fine, I can only do 2. Give me 2. If you have another tailor, fine, take it to that tailor." They would respect you for that. They won't go around saying, "Oh no, he refused to collect my fabrics." What would they tell people? "Oh no, he refused because he has so many work to do and he couldn't meet up, so he refused to collect." It doesn't make sense. They won't say that. But they would always know, okay, you have delivered on the 2. Keep to your promises. Don't give people unrealistic deadlines. That's one thing, because you're setting yourself up. Once you tell someone, you know you have a lot of things to do, and you're telling someone, "Oh no, come after 5 days, no problem." What will happen to all the 20 waiting for you? Can you really meet up after 5 days?
I don't think Gabriel agrees with you. He's obviously going to argue that out.
Well, like, the reason why I make that point, let me just say, the reason why I make the statement like that is because there are some people that, you know, they are your customers. They are really your customer. They like what you did, and you render your services to them the way they like it. And they are feeling very difficult to take their materials to another tailor. There are some people like that. There is no how, no way that will take their materials to nowhere, because they like what you did to them. And it's very difficult for them to take their materials to another
And
tailor.
you don't want to lose them as customer.
Yeah.
But
So,
you know you will lose them in the end, right?
no, you will not lose them. There is a way you talk to your customers. Like the issue where they say,
I suspect you are one of those tailors. Those tailors that used to put mirror by the side of their door and be watching.
Like me.
When the customer is coming, they will run and hide under the sewing machine.
From where I'm working now, let me say from my shop now,
Yeah.
I have never disappointed somebody before. No matter how many customers I have. Because I can spend the night working to satisfy my customers and deliver their clothes by their times. I don't disappoint. But for other tailors, I know very well. When I was not yet a tailor, they used to do it for me as well.
I think that was one of
There
the
is
motivations
somebody, even my friend,
to learn how
that
to-
okay, friend, I'm going to join you. We'll learn. We'll learn in the same place. We graduated the same time. Is this sewing? Back then in my place, in Makodi. He's still there while I'm in Abuja. He was the one who gave me this inspiration to join this work because of what he did to me. There are some tailors, I'm not saying that there are some tailors that didn't disappoint, but for me, as a tailor here, I don't disappoint at all.
So obviously, Umi, Gabriel, and Informa, all of you are good designers and tailors. Who are those bad people that like to give poor services to their customers? Informa.
Okay, at times we do like me. Sometimes, not all the time. At times I do disappoint. One, because of the light. Most times I find it we have issues with light. Okay, like this week, since Monday we don't have light, and since Monday we don't have light. Just today that they brought light for us.
Yeah.
And those things are the things that.
Okay, so now we have a problem. There's a problem of your own consumers complaining, and then you also have a problem as a consumer to power companies that you cannot meet up targets as long as there is no electricity supply, because most of these designs come with embroidery, don't they?
Yes.
How do you manage your own case? You have a generator or something, Umi?
Yeah, we have a generator. Yeah, there's a generator, but still, you're spending money. You're spending.
And that gets to affect us, right?
Yeah, it affects the customer.
So the customer now has to suffer for it because you have to bring out your rent.
You have to bring out your rent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, cost of materials in the market, they're all imported. So when
they're all imported?
Yeah.
What happened to made in Nigeria?
We don't make threads, we don't make linings, we don't make stays.
No.
Do we?
Are you asking me?
I'm just like saying no, so I'm like, do
we should know.
But we don't.
We don't have Nigerian thread.
We don't make thread.
No.
That's the thing, we don't. So they're all imported. So when there's a policy now, and it affects market price, okay, everything goes up. You have to pay for diesel because electricity is epileptic. Then customers now complain, oh, your charges have gone up, they're high, but it's not our fault. We also need to survive. You have to pay your tailors, and you have to pay your tailors well. You have to pay them well because they are working hard, so you can't pay them peanuts. You have to pay them well. So at the end of the day, in all honesty, your tailors earn more than you do. That's the truth. Your tailors actually earn more than
because you need them to sell you out there.
Yeah, you need them. You need to motivate them. You need to encourage them, or they can be poached. If you have good tailors, trust me, there's someone there waiting for your tailor to just pass by so that they can talk to him.
But that won't happen to Gabriel because Gabriel is a tailor as well.
So you have working for you. You have to pay them well to keep them because they are also executing your ideas. So you also need them. You have to pay them well. And with electricity, cost of markets, materials you need, and accessories, depending on what you charge. If you charge high, you can't go and buy cheap accessories for your clients because that would be a no-no. You spoil your image, and trust me, they won't come back when you find out. So you have to also buy expensive accessories, and that's where the money comes from. Because some people complain that, oh, why your charge is high and all, but it goes to the accessories also. So.
But we also know that there are other aspects of your business that are cheaper to maintain, and some of your consumers or your clients definitely move from one shop to the other. They know the quality of what they want. They find it cheaper in one location, and then they come to your location. It's more expensive. What is responsible for that?
Factors like rent.
Okay.
Rent is one major thing.
Because rent is not universal.
It's not universal. Your shop in Garki, it's definitely more expensive than a shop in Kubwa. You understand?
Yes.
So, of course, rent. You're paying rent. You have to consider that when you're charging. And we tailors know these things. Someone that charges 5,000 naira for a dress and someone that charges 10,000 naira for a dress, there's a huge difference. You can't expect someone that charges 5,000 naira to buy the most expensive lining in the market. You can't expect the person to buy the most expensive stay in the market. With 5,000, you understand? You can't expect the person to buy an accessory of 3,000 naira to put. how much would the person end up with? So people need to understand these things. It's what the value you are getting for your money.
So how many of you own shops or offices?
Own or rent? Okay, you own your property?
Yes.
Yeah,
You own it or you pay rent?
Okay, you pay rent. I pay
You
rent.
all pay rent?
Yes.
How much is your rent, Umi?
I can't say.
You can't tell, or you don't want to say?
I can't tell. I don't want to say.
Oh, okay, you don't want to say. You want to keep it private. What about you?
Yeah, like in the place that I'm staying, we usually pay rent for just a little space of shop like this, just 100,000.
That's for 2 years?
A year.
1 year. What about you, Ify?
Like mine is also a small space. I pay 150.
That's how you used to do. You say small space, but big money used to pass through that space.
Now, no.
Okay, so now, what are the challenges that we face eventually? But let's also remind you that the phone lines are open for those who want to make contributions on Prosumer Forum this afternoon. Call us up on 081 89 99 1011. Call us up and tell us some of your experiences as customers to some of these tailors. Your experiences matter. Let us know the challenges. We're trying to bring a meeting point between your designers, your tailors, and you, the consumer. It's very important. Let us understand why that tailor will put that mirror and be running away when he knows it's something he can just avoid.
Can we also say where it's also the consumer's fault?
You will say it, but let the consumers talk. Let them talk about you first. Hello? Please put up your radio set.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome to Prosumer Forum. Ruth, I knew that the first caller would be a lady.
Because we love designing.
Please go ahead. Are you a designer, a tailor, or a consumer?
No, but I love it. That's my best. I love tailoring.
Okay.
I love designing. But I want to talk about this tailoring of a thing. These people, this tailoring should disappoint you. There's one tailor, I use my clothes. I give him about 5 clothes to show them. You know, when I went to collect my clothes, he did not show it, and I given him money, and one of the wrapper is not even complete. I didn't see one of the wrapper. I asked Ola, where is my wrapper? He said he cut it to, and he kept it in, and in the process of that, I lost my phone in that place. That was how I did it. Today, I didn't go to shop to stay again.
And how much was your wrapper or the material?
I got that wrapper in about 7,000.
7,000.
Yes, that is 2014. 2014, I bought it 7,000. And the sewing they charge me each one. Then each one charge me about 4.25 for each one. So I give him the money. One of the wrappers is not there, and the third is not. I'm paying him the money. And I lost my phone in the process of all that.
So
I just
have you been able to find the tailor, or he has escaped?
No, I just leave him. I didn't even say anything. I didn't take him to anywhere. I didn't even. I don't need to go inside again.
But the thing is, you see, that's one of the reasons we have this program. We want some of these things to be checked. When a tailor does that to you, what do? You need to find redress and solve it once and for all. Otherwise, many other people will have to face that experience again.
You know, since then, I don't like sewing clothes. I could take to go and buy my receipt and then I don't sew clothes. If they never have what I didn't give you, I will not be able to, because of all this disappointment. There's one I have in Gati. When I take my coat to him, they promise me and I want to use that clothes. That guy disappoints me. And the clothes are the ones who didn't show it well. And he charged me 7,500. For two, I saw 2 clothes in him. I can't wear the clothes today. So things that I don't like sewing clothes again. I just prefer to go and buy again and wear.
But make sure it's made in Nigeria. You buy you.
I know I'm not moving like because I call my country to great country. I love no country like that country.
My dear, I'm telling you.
I don't think like home.
It's true.
I love Nigeria so much. Green, white, green is the best snack for
Green, white, green for life, my sister. Green,
for life.
For life, yes.
It's the best snack in the whole world.
And don't forget Human Rights Radio for life. Oh,
I love it, man. Get to have a day star and all of you love the
Human Rights Radio.
Human Rights Radio.
Don't talk that thing again, no?
No, that can because they are people.
That time don't pass. Human Rights Radio.
That time don't pass. You know, you see the video of mine now. That one don't pass.
They do like some of these tailors now. You know they do like some of those tailors now. No. That lady that used to talk about her price in her shop. And she don't talk about her rent. And the other day I talk about his rent. I don't know. They need to charge more. They need to charge. They have money. She doesn't want to say it so that you will not know how she used to price.
I can't. If you want me to say okay, let me just give you a clue.
She wants to give you a clue.
The cost of a self-contained apartment in Gariki area 11.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a very interesting consumer there. And she decided to just let it go. Jennifer, would you have allowed that go?
In my case, I had to let it go.
Yeah, hey, you see, you poor the people.
It is because you have gone through the stress not once, not twice.
Then you have to put it at end. You cannot continue for. Hello.
It's frustration.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. My name is Jenna.
Welcome to Prosumer Forum.
Okay, thank you. I have a complaint about my bank.
Okay.
FCMD Bank. So I have a loan with them. So that loan, they not supposed to remove it. So I have a money from there. I did not allow them to remove. So I now remove the whole money. So that is why I owe them one pending month. Okay. So the second month, we are supposed to deduct the two. The last month on and this month on. So they now deduct 10,000 naira. Instead of 50 or something, when the money deduct. And the out of that money they are paying is 47,000, 48,000. That's 48,000. I only withdraw 80,000 to enable them debit the last month on and this month on. So the remaining money, they did not deduct it, and I did not see the remaining money there. And there is no one alerting that this is why they did not deduct or whatever. So, I wanted to check my balance. In that balance, they put minus 50,000, meaning that in only months again, they are still going to just 2 times, which they are still owing 15, let's say, they are owing me 20,000 now.
Okay, you know what you're going to do for me? I have your number, and it ends with 806. Am I correct?
No.
Your number ends with 806.
Okay, what I will do?
Hello?
What I will do? I'm hearing you.
Yes. I'll call you immediately after on your number, and I'll direct you to the right place to lay your complaint.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll check out this. Before I lay my complaint, I want to go to them and collect statement of account. Hello.
Welcome to Human Rights Radio.
Good afternoon. My name is Rotimi Olondare.
All right. Okay, Rotimi, you're welcome.
Yes, sir. I really love this program. You people are doing.
Thank you very much.
So, I don't have a complaint, but I want to talk about the fashion designer and tailoring.
Yes.
Like me now, I'm a very fat man. Then I don't used to sew clothes in
in Abuja here. I always send my clothes down to Ondo State. But my tailor has my size there. He has my measurements. Whenever I bought material from Abuja here, or maybe any Achodi, I will send it to him. When he gave me a week, that a week that you will not have plus or minus. He will definitely send the clothes to me. Then I went to Gabi Motor Park and collect it. So sometimes last year, a friend of mine introduced one tailor to me in Buhari, where I used to show my wrapper. I will use it to sew fitted set. He will convert it to shirt for me. The guy is not sincere, but he is perfect and he knows how to sew clothes very well. If he give you 3 days, not zero in your mind that 3 days is 4 weeks. It's not funny. 4 weeks. Like last week now, I have one ceremony that I want to go, one naming ceremony. So I just packed my wardrobe. I thought that I have a clothes there. I took to him on Thursday that I should please, he said I will pay extra charges. Then he used to sew a check for me at 3,000 naira. He said he will collect 4,500. I paid him. He said I should please come on Saturday in the morning to come and collect. I saw my son there. So when they get there, he said it's not ready. I should come in the afternoon. Do you believe not until yesterday evening before he sent the clothes to me? You know, it's annoying. They are not sincere. So that's what I just have to say. May God help them.
Amen. No. This is a very serious trend, and he's not finding it funny, honestly, because if you are paying money for services, I mean, sometimes the customer actually buys the material and takes it to the tailor or the designer, and when you see how you're being treated, it's as if you're begging for the service. Meanwhile, you paid for the service. Even when you pay express, sometimes what they call express, it appears not all express come expressly, you know. But let's take more calls and have Nigerians react. Hello?
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Please tell us your name again.
Tola Shade.
Tola Shade. Are you a designer, tailor, or a consumer?
Yeah, I'm a tailor.
You're a tailor?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the program, Prosumer Forum. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Like me, our area there is really disappointed. I mean, we don't have light. If they have light, I don't disappoint. And some of the customers, they bring clothes for you, they will not put advance, and they will report it to their fans.
Hello, Tola? Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you.
So after people say think about putting it here, and they say if you bring work, you didn't give any advance, then I have to keep your clothes now. So that one is not disappointing. The person disappoints himself since he didn't give advance. So I don't disappoint.
Okay, and we commend you for not disappointing your customers. It's very important to really, really value your customers, honestly. Thank you, Tola, for contributing on Prosumer Forum. So, Umi, why were you so happy with what she said?
I like what she said, though. Because if you bring your fabric, you have to also bring the advance that the tailor or whoever would go to the market and prep. You have to bring the advance so they can prep for your clothes. So if you give someone fabric without advance, like she said, a gianni, it's for keeping.
So it's for keeping.
Yes.
So when you don't give, but do you normally request for advance?
Yes, we do.
What exactly is advance?
That's the money you pay. You
like
can
you
pay,
deposit part
like
of it?
we collect 50%, at least 50% of the charge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the whole idea being that you're committed.
Yes.
And the tailor can go ahead with the sewing. That way you are sure that you're not losing even if the person doesn't come
and I
back.
have an advice for the callers that call to complain. Please don't pay full payment. If you don't know this tailor, if it's your first time, always just give an advance. Don't just go and say, oh no, let me just pay you everything. Since you're not familiar with the tailor, so many things could go wrong.
But what about, you wanted to mention, you were itchy to mention some of the issues with the consumers themselves, with the clients.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention the advance. That was one of the things I wanted to mention. Some bring clothes, but they don't drop their advance, and they expect you to sew their clothes and leave the ones or people that have paid advance. So it's always good to pay advance, and you have to tell them also, I won't touch your clothes till you decide to pay the advance whenever. But of course you can collect and keep it, but you let them know.
Okay, we'll come back to Ify and Gabriel very soon. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Welcome to Prosumer Forum.
How are you?
Fine, oh, you sound like a tailor.
Yes, I mean, the way for young.
I know. There's a way they used to start their sentences. They will start with...
I like the way people are discussing about.
Hello? Uh-oh, we lost the call, unfortunately. But it did come timely. Now, let's quickly ask, because any tailor that steps into the studio must talk. Ify, have you collected advance before?
Yes.
Do you always insist on advance?
Yes.
So, do you give the services in advance?
Yes. Yes. Because when you pay advance, that will make me to go to the market and buy some stuff that I will use in sewing the clothes. So I request for advance.
Okay, and that inspires you to do more of the work. What about you, Gabriel?
Yeah, I insist on the advance.
Okay.
I insist.
And without advance, you keep the cloth on one side?
I didn't keep the clothes because of... There are some people that will bring clothes to you and say, make this clothes for me, I'm coming tomorrow. Definitely you will make it and keep for next 2 years.
Exactly.
You will keep it and they will not come. And at times I insist on the advance because it will make you to remember.
The mic needs to be close to you,
okay,
yeah.
It will make you to remember that your money and your material, you know, when money is involved, you don't take
and that's where the consumer doesn't feel happy because he knows he's committing money and all of that. What about you, Umi?
Yeah, I do insist on the advance, unless we are like very, and I know, unless you're, you know, there's always that special category of customers that they just make your work very easy for you. Yeah, unless you are that customer, you always insist, because like you said, some people would come, you sew, and you won't see them for the next 3 months. And for me, I have tailors, you have to pay your tailors, because end of the month, they want their money. You have to pay them. So you can imagine how inconvenient it is when they don't come to pick up.
Well, whatever it is, when you get people like Jennifer on your list, they look like troublemakers. Jennifer, I don't believe that you actually let that case pass. I don't believe
I think
you.
I'll give you my card after this.
No. This is Prosumer Forum. It's not our market. We have a program for our market. You will pay, then you do advert.
Personal gist.
This one that you started doing marketing things. But thank you so much, Umi. Thank you so much, Ifeoma. Thank you, Gabriel, for coming on the program, Prosumer Forum. We'd like to thank you, and we hope that you keep giving the best services out there. We encourage others out there. If you say you're a service provider, the consumer should enjoy a better service as much as possible, and that will make Nigeria better. And let's hope that eventually we get to start manufacturing the thread you were talking about.
Amen. And please, consumers, please feel free to call police if the agreement is not met.
Yeah, your colleagues don't go like this the way you talk.
No, but it's the fact. It's an agreement, verbal agreement. If it's not written, it's verbal.
Absolutely.
So you have decided, people agreed on something, you have to meet up.
You have to meet up.
Or you pay back. Simple.
Maybe we should get to that point where customers should start signing an agreement before they give out their things to the tailors.
And amount.
Jennifer?
Yes, an amount, of course.
All right. So Thank you so much for being part of Prosumer Forum. Unfortunately, I can't take the calls coming in right now. Have a great day ahead. My name is Peter. Up next, Telephone Vano with the ordinary president. Bye-bye.
We declare that human rights are for all of us, all the time, wherever we are and wherever we are from. This is a matter of individual justice, social stability,